Rev up your engines!
Well, Tesla's laying off more than 10% of their people. Elon Musk emailed the staff and confirmed more than 10% are going to be fired. And some people are even saying, hey, he's going to end up firing 20% of the people, right? Here's Musk's baloney flying out to people. As we prepare the company for our next phase of growth, it's important to look at every aspect of the company. Growth. He's talking about growth while he's firing people, right? That guy is the biggest BS around the planet. And here's a hilarious thing. Some of these people found out, here's how they found out. They went to work, and when they went to do their ID badges, they didn't work. So then they were put in shuttle buses and taken back to their parking area and said, bye-bye. They didn't have the brass balls of telling the people up front, oh, our ID badge's not real. Oh, yeah, you've been fired. Get in the shuttle. Get out of here. This means about 14,000 people are going to be fired. And if the guy's trying to say his company's doing good, that's a line of horse manure. You fire that many people, something screwed up at that company, right? People are realizing the guy's been pulling a scam on people. They're finally starting to understand it. Just like if you ever watched the movie or read the book, The Big Short, the guy was shorting all these corporations that were lying about the bonds and the value. And for years, they kept up a facade that, oh, this is good investment. No, no, no. And in the end, the guys that were telling you were a good investment were selling theirs to you. Their clients, right? And so it's great. Well, they're unloading theirs on you. And then when the literal crap hit the fan, well, you lost your money, right? He doesn't even have the brass balls to tell people you're fired. Oh, they come to work, their badge didn't work. Okay, in the shuttle. Bye, you're out of here. I mean, what a sleaze bag. Here we go. Maybe it's the end of Tesla, at least as a gigantic corporation. How many people really want these electric cars? You know? Ask your friends, ask your neighbors, and see what actually is happening. Most people I meet, I said, we're not going to get an electric car for the foreseeable future. It just doesn't make any sense. Well, Stellantis is now having plant shutdowns because the suppliers aren't supplying them with the parts that they want because Stellantis is a cheapskate corporation. It's a European corporation, right? And they're also getting involved in lawsuits. You see they're making money, right? Stellantis to their shareholders brags, well, look at all the money we're making. We're making all the money. But then the suppliers are saying, we want some of that money. But no, they're real cheap. They don't want to pay the suppliers. The suppliers aren't supplying stuff. Then they can't build cars. As an article I just read said, Stellantis is playing hardball with suppliers. And that's leading to big disputes that are spilling out into the courts. If you're a greedy company that wants to make a bunch of money and they're firing a bunch of American workers because they want to be more European, they don't care about this country, right? You're making money and then you're trying to tell your suppliers, oh no, we're only going to give you this much for the parts that you're selling. Well, guess what? If they don't have those parts, they can't build their stupid cars. That's the problem with these moronic corporate heads that think we're going to save money by outsourcing everything. Well, guess what? If your outsourcers aren't giving you the stuff, you can't build your cars anymore. Henry Ford, he had integration in his company originally, and they don't anymore, but they did. And he would make everything, so he didn't have to worry about Joe Blow over here not sending him starters for his cars. He made them himself, right? Well, these idiots think, oh, we'll take advantage of supply chain and we'll get it cheaper from here. Yeah, but when the supply chain breaks down, guess what? You can't build any cars. Now, Stellantis is known as one of the toughest negotiators in America, and it's leading some suppliers to stop shipments. They're not getting paid enough, so they're okay, fine, we won't send them to you. Now, you can't blame the suppliers because inflation's going rampant. And if they got some old contract that they're getting paid so much for their parts and now it costs more to make them and more to ship them, then they need more money. But Stellantis, no, you're just signed a deal with us. Well, guess what, Stellantis, you idiots? If they're not going to supply it, you're screwed. And you can take them to court all you want. If you're not making vehicles and people aren't buying them, your company's going to go out of business, right? Now, I guess they don't care in the United States. They're a European company, you know. And let's face the facts. They don't care about America. They don't even understand America. I mean, look, Stellantis' biggest seller worldwide is Fiat's, piles of junk. They sold 685 Fiats in the United States last year. We don't care about them. Stellantis does. And they don't care about us, right? And these corporations that are supplying them parts to build their stuff, they don't care about them either. They just think, oh, we can bully them around all they want. Well, guess what? If you can't get the parts to build your cars, then you're screwed. You can't build them and you can't sell them. As one analyst said, car makers are making record profits, but the company's making parts for them, but who are much of the economic hit and aren't making a profit. And the hilarious thing is Stellantis, it's such a messed up company, right? Stellantis is going to court and they're suing both Carmakers, a German producer of fasteners, and McLean fog components, which make pinions and gears for transmissions on Jeeps, Rams, and some of the other stuff they make, right? That's the thing. These idiots, if they're not going to make the parts for their own cars, the gears and stuff for their own cars, right? If that company goes or decides they're not going to sell them, you can't make the cars, right? I mean, to me, it's just stupid. These greedy corporate guys got to work and make things from all over the world, right? But then when there's a supply problem, they can't make cars, they can't sell them, right? You'd think these people would understand the business, but unfortunately, a lot of the people that are now high position in these things are just marketing people. I saw the same thing when I was at CBS. They originally had people that really understand news and stuff, but then they replaced all the directors with marketing guys. And all they want to do is sell and make money. They don't understand even the basis of their own business. And in this case, it's supposed to be building cars. Well, they won't be able to build them if they keep screwing everybody over that's sending them parts. Charlie C545 says my 2013 Subaru Forester has the P0420 inefficient catalytic converter code. I took it in and they said it's going to be expensive. The exhaust manifold and cat was 17 and the second converter with a pipe isn't even available. It runs fine. No drop in miles per gallon, no stalling, no rotten egg smell, no leaks in the exhaust. We're replacing both oxygen sensors. Clear this code. What do you think? Well, it could if they're giving wrong data. That's what's going to happen, right? Now, you didn't say what kind of mileage you have on it if your engine burns oil, but if your engine burns oil and it's high mileage, I can guarantee you that it's going to fix anything because it's the catalytic converter that's inefficient. But here's the thing. You're saying it runs okay, no drop in miles per gallon, so you're probably throwing your money away putting oxygen sensors. Oxygen sensors give you good gas mileage. If they're not working right, your gas mileage will go to hell in a handbasket, right? And if it's normal, your cat's probably just running at less than 95% efficiency. The code trips. I've had people drive that way for years. Now, you might try some catalytic converter cleaner, put it in, put some Shell Super unleaded, drive it around for a while, and if they're 300 or 400 miles, if it goes out, then that cleaned it out enough. But if it's running okay otherwise and you don't have emissions testing, who cares? Now, if they have emissions testing in your area for the car, then you're screwed. You got to fix it, or you can't get your car legally registered. You know, it's another money-making thing for all the car manufacturers. They love it. Oh, yeah, buy another car. Yeah, yours is all worn out. You need a new one. Come on, now, buy it. No, instead of having something that can run forever. Donald Bonham says, I have an oil pressure problem in my Zuzu. It's got 240,000 miles. It starts. In the morning, the oil pressure is 35 pounds. So the more I drive it, the lower it gets. Do you know what the problem is? Okay, first thing, just replace the oil pressure sending unit. It could go bad. Voila. That fixes the problem. Now, if it still does the same exact thing, that means that your engine is worn. But if it's not clacking while you're driving, you can still drive it. As an engine wears, things get worn, and then there's more clearance. Your bearings, that a bunch of the parts, the pistons, the cams, are set on bearings. They spin metal bearings with oil lubricating. As they wear, the bearings get smaller. Then the space is bigger, so the oil pressure will drop. As long as your engine's not clack, clack, clacking when you're going on, it's still got enough lubrication, right? Because to fix that problem, you'd have to rebuild the whole engine. And you got 240,000 miles. I can guarantee you the bearings are somewhat worn. As long as it runs, it doesn't clack, it's okay. If it starts clacking, then I'd say either get a rebuilt engine or get another vehicle. If you're nuts about the car, go ahead and I'll rebuild the engine. But if you're not, just drive it until it drops and then get another car. Because you would have to rebuild the engine to stop it down. With that mileage, the internal wear makes the oil pressure go down because of bigger spaces inside. But as long as it doesn't clack, it's still working. But if it starts clack, clack, clacking, that means it's really lost oil pressure, and then the engine will just finally go. And you decide, do I want to fix it or just get another car? Well, this makes you wonder what's happened to our taxpayer money. The Biden administration just agreed to provide $6.4 billion to Samsung for making computer chips in Texas, right? Now they're going to provide up to $6.4 billion in direct funding. This isn't, tax breaks. This is direct funding. Now, they want to produce advanced computer chips domestically. It really makes you wonder what's going on with these idiots in Washington. And listen to the small thing that it does. I mean, this just amazes me. This puts us on track to hit our goal of producing 20% of the world's leading-edge chips in the U.S. by the end of the decade. Okay, this is just like they put billions into charging infrastructure, and in 3 years, they built 7 chargers. It's just ridiculous. Just government waste our taxpayer dollars given to a corporation. It's ridiculous. And then they make up these figures. Look at this. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo says, oh, it's going to create at least 17,000 construction jobs and more than 4,500 manufacturing jobs. Yeah, let's see what it actually does, right? The construction jobs are short-term because they're gone once the thing's built, right? And they're not even going to start production until 2027. 3 years from now, right? Throw our government money down the toilet to these corporations, you know? And they're not even American corporations. That's the hilarious part. And of course, what do they use as their buzzword? It's a national security. The national security. Oh yeah, we can throw the money at that. It's making it secure, right? What a load of horse manure. If they wanted to make it secure, why don't they use an American company? So here we go with our money being given to corporations, right? Absolutely absurd. And they're not even American corporations. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.